Hi, everyone. Welcome to Authentic Expressions. I'm Mee Gaik Lim, and I look forward to answering your questions. So, the topic today is when putting everyone first leaves you last. So, I am going to thank Laurel Ridge for sponsoring this program, and I would like to read to you and share with you some of the services of Laurel Ridge. So, Laurel Ridge is a behavioral health program that offers compassionate care for every stage of life. It provides personalized treatment for all populations. Their interest is to help you into your journey of wellness. They have services for children, adolescents, adults, military dependents, active duty service members, veterans, first responders. They both have inpatient services, outpatient services, substance abuse treatment, residential treatment. Be sure to call 210 491 3591 for no cost assessment. Laurel Ridge is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The mission is to save lives, heal families, and create hope. Hey everyone, welcome. So glad you're here. So I see some familiar names already. So today's topic is when putting everyone first leaves you last. So let's hear your questions. So, how can you put yourself first and be more self honoring? So, I see many familiar names. Welcome, Dora, Zach, Menarlis. Okay, Christine, welcome. Cheryl, Rachel, Claudia. Wow, neat. Like the familiar names, that's faces that are showing up. So, hi, Victoria. Welcome. Glad you're here. So, what questions do you have? Hi, EK. What questions do you have pertaining to when putting everyone first leaves you last? What are some of the things you want to bring to the table? I would love to hear your questions, and I would also love to talk about the flip side of it, which is how can you put yourself first, consistently, continuously, regularly. So, whenever you bring change, don't just look at what you want to avoid doing. So, think of the flip side, what you want to consistently do. So, Nate, welcome. I want to hear your questions. While you're posting your questions, I'm going to read to you a quote by Aristotle. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. So, this is from Aristotle. Hello, Serena. Welcome. So, let me get some questions related to when putting everyone first leaves you last. All right, Christine has a question. Thank you, Christine. How can you get out of the mindset of resentment if you are helping people that don't give thanks or appreciate you for your efforts? Awesome. Welcome, Bridget. So that's an awesome question, Christine. So, how can you get out of the mindset of resentment if you're constantly helping people that don't give thanks or appreciate you? So, it might be important for you to not change their mindset, but to change your own mindset. What is a mindset that you want to have? Is it always about helping people, being devoted to other people, that you give so much that you exhaust? So it's also giving your motive that you want to get something back. So you want to reflect and examine on your own motives. So instead of complaining about what they are doing, not doing, or doing, it's important for you to think about what you want to do for yourself. At the top of your triangle, you should be the one that is ahead, not other people. When you continuously put other people ahead of you, in front of you, it's a setup for you to have long list of resentments. Because the more you put other people ahead of you, then you will be down on the list and you'll be at the bottom of the list. So in your life, your journey is to be on top of the list. Your job is to show up for yourself, not always show up for other people. And I think there's a percentage that we can show up for other people given that they help themselves. So it's conditional in given that they help themselves. If you keep showing up for others and they don't help themselves, then you tend to work harder than them. And when you work harder, you give your best, you give your all, that's when resentment builds up. So your job, your priority is always to find you at the top of your heap, to find you honoring yourself, respecting yourself. So those are important reminders to have. So your life is not about resentments, but your life is about appreciation and gratitude, about honoring you. Okay, Bridget has a question. Good evening. How can I care for others without losing myself in the process? That's an excellent question. So, how can you care for yourself and not lose yourself? So, how can you honor yourself? So, there are some things that you want to remind yourself about. And these are the words that I'm going to share with you. Firstly, you want to respect yourself, you want to honor yourself, you want to um, make yourself a priority, not make others a priority. You want to affirm yourself. When you do that consistently, then you're not dependent on others to give it to you. Whenever you depend on others to give it to you, then it makes you more of a victim-ish mindset. So in all that you do, in everything that you want to grow and build, make it your point to build it internally. Have a strong structure that is about building you. Then, when your structure is strong, when you give and you give appropriately, then resentments are not there because you're giving out of um, planned, planned and organized way of living your life. But when you give and pour until you're empty, that's when resentment shows up. And then you lose yourself because your life is about giving and depleting. Remember, your life is about replenishing you, not about depleting you. When you deplete and you keep depleting after 30, 40, 50 years, when you finish your life journey, you will have a whole list of resentments because you have not given to yourself, but you keep expecting others to give it to you. So realize that your biggest and most important priority is to always give to yourself. It's not selfish, but it's self-nurturing. All right, Nate has a good question. How do I learn to say no and be okay with it? Often I say no and it makes me feel like I'm failing them. Yes, yes, that is a common struggle of people. Remember, whenever you make decisions, your decisions has to be built on what's in your best interest. When you put others' best interest ahead of yours, it's a setup. It's a setup to fail, it's a setup to have years of resentments. So learn to say no, learn to make decisions out of clarity, transparency, objectivity. Many times we are raised in an environment where we are taught to give, and deplete. When we live with that mindset, then guilt consumes us, and we are depleting ourselves and our energy. So learn to think about how do you want to do decisions? You want to do decisions and make decisions out of courage, out of clarity, out of objectivity, and out of strengthening you and the other person. When you give and you weaken yourself and you weaken the other person, it's not giving. That is very damaging and that's very destructive. So whenever you give, think about how you can replenish, how you can nurture. While the giving may solve the problem momentarily, but does it have long-term effects? long-term benefits. So whenever you give and share with others, think about what benefits might it have or not have on the other person. So always make it your priority to make decisions that's going to strengthen your core and also strengthen the other person. You give out of the goodness to build relationships, not to deplete and to make yourself cause yourself to be used and abused by other people. Because when you keep giving because you're guilty, then the other person know where your weak point is, and that's a setup. All right, Rachel, how do you put yourself first when people are always expecting things from you and you don't want to let them down? So sounds like the expectation is to please other people. So again, based on what I said earlier, when your focus is on pleasing other people, then your energy is on pleasing them. Remember, your job as a human being to your parents, to your child, is to live the life that is more fulfilling for you, more nurturing, more affirming. But if you lose kind of lose your own sense of who you are by giving and constantly giving, then you are not only letting people down, you're letting yourself down. Because when you deplete yourself, you drain yourself, you exhaust yourself, it's not giving. It is more abuse behavior. You know, that behavior is very abusive, it's very toxic because you're teaching the next generation, you're teaching your friends to disrespect you, you're teaching your parents, your family members to not honor you. So whenever you build relationship, it should be about respecting, honoring, nurturing, affirming. So make decisions out of these values, these desires, rather than give because you're guilty, give because others expect of you. So think about, what do you expect of yourself? So it is very important that you understand your own motive, you understand your own vision, that you understand your own mission. What is your mission in life? So don't think about the small things of, okay, I have to give and deplete. So that is not living, that's just existing and exhausting. So think about your own mindset as to what you want to do that is going to prioritize you and honor you, respect you, affirm you, nurture you, and hold you in high regard. Thanks for the question, Rachel. All right, Zach has a question. What's the best way to hold your ground when retraining people to understand that you are prioritizing yourself after years of catering to their needs? Yes, great question. Most people don't like change, and they don't like change when they are at the receiving end and that they are not, not given. Because when people are used to receiving and then suddenly you cut off that source, then people will make waves, they will ruffle, you ruffle their feathers. So whenever there is change and you're changing the direction, feathers will be ruffled, waves will be made. Learn that this is part and parcel of growth, and it's a good thing. So change is hard for people because they expect you to do like they want. You train them and they train you. So they use guilt on you, they use blame, they use attack, they use um, guilt on you. So you have to decide whether you want to let those energy corner you and exhaust you. If you do that repeatedly, then you will finish your journey feeling depleted. You finish your journey feeling very resentful. So learn always to make decisions out of clarity, out of what is in your best interest. So while they may resent it, they may complain about it, But in the long run, they respect you because you're helping them grow. Your growth triggers the growth of other people. So don't think of it as, oh, people will accuse you of being selfish. Well, you're not selfish, you are self nurturing. And also, in being self nurturing, you're helping others to step up, to take hold, to move forward and do what is right and what is in their best interest. All right. Forge in the Fire of Affiliation. That's an interesting title. That's an interesting name. When people put other people's needs first, is it because they struggle to say no? And when do we draw the line between genuine selfishness and being taken advantage of? That's an awesome question. So when do we draw the line between genuine selfishness and when being taken advantage of? So genuine selfishness has to do with what's in your best interest. What is going to nurture you, what's going to affirm you, what is going to build you up, what's going to strengthen your core. But when you give because your parents always give, you were taught to give because you were guilted into it. And when you don't give, you're told that you're selfish, you're labeled, you're blamed. So think about change. Whenever change helps build you up, build the other person up, that's strengthening. That's a very healthy thing. But when it weakens you, it brings in resentments, it brings in a blame, it blames an attack. And it also causes the person to be weak because while you may help them momentarily, but in the long run, you are weakening their system. Whenever you change for the better and people will label you as selfish, you have to learn to walk away from those labels. Because if you let it eat you up, consume you, and get you to guilt you to make changes, that is not healthy. So think about long term goals. Whenever you change, it has to help you strengthen your core. It cannot be something that weaken you. Anytime you weaken your emotional core, that is very unhealthy. All right, Santos, I got your name. I love that name though, Forge in the Fire of Affliction. Very interesting. Thank you, Santos. All right, Brittany, welcome. Good evening. How do you set healthy boundaries from demanding family and friends? Yes, these people have been trained to exhaust you. So when we complain about other people, I want you to take responsibility and look at what you have done to set it up so that you allow people to use you. Change is not about changing other people, it's about changing you. So I want you to think about how you can untrain people to disrespect you. So, how can you build up self respect, build up self honor, build up self nurturing? Because you have trained people to give you for 10 years, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. You want to keep training people to exhaust you. So, don't worry about setting boundaries, but think about what you need to do for yourself so that you stop complaining about the other people. When you change, people change. They will go find other victims to go prey upon. So think about how you want to focus on you. The more you complain about other people, then it's not about healthy change because that puts you in the victim mode. So train yourself to respect yourself, honor yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate. So when you do that and you do it consistently, you will clean up the noise, clear out the noise of what others say, what others do to blame you. Because if you sit in the blame chair and you allow blame to consume you, then it's hard to change. So change is about what you want to see happen, not what other people want you to do. Because if you do what others want, then you are still prey to being a victim and prey to being a martyr. So think of change as about you and not always about others. So, Victoria, welcome. Is it possible to help somebody to learn how to make more time for themselves, such as a family member or friend? That's a great question. So, in changing again, you can teach somebody the better skill is to live that lifestyle. Because when people see you live it, they want to model it, they want to emulate you, they want to mimic your behavior. So you can teach and preach all day long. But if you can live by your actions and you consistently take time for you to nurture you, and they see the benefits of it, and they see that saying no is not that hard, saying no is easier than they give it credit for. So then they will take steps to make changes as well. So don't think about changing other people. The best person you can change is you. That's the only person that you can change. All right, Dora goes, I tend to overextend myself when people ask me to do things for them. How do I back out without feeling like I'm unreliable? Okay, very good question. Very common issue. So, how do you stop from overextending yourself? So, whenever you make decisions, don't think about other people. When you put other people into your decision making basket, to your decision making mindset, then you're also doing it for other people. So, in your growth, your decisions is always about what's in your best interest, what's going to help you grow, what's going to help you be a better version of you, a more respect respected person. How can you build that skill? So, you overextend yourself because maybe there's a script from your childhood that says that your job is to help, but then you are following somebody else's script. So, your job in your life as an adult is to be what? So, you need to reflect and re examine what your priorities, what your vision statement is, what your mission statement in life is. So, be clear about what you want to see happen, what you want to make happen. How do you want to relate, or do you want to keep relate to people by feeling guilty, by feeling used? Because if you keep training people to disrespect you, they will do that consistently, because people's behavior are very consistent. All right, Claudia. In my case, unlearning decades of overgiving is hard. Some practical tips to practice immediately. Awesome. Great question. Yes, how do you reverse the mindset of overgiving? And it is something that was taught by our parents, could be, you saw how relatives behave and you saw how friends behave. And then after being brainwashed and being told that you have to give, you have to give, you have to give until you bleed, that is not healthy. Learn to now be the adult in the room and learn to have different values, different mindset. The end goal is not about depleting yourself. So think, what is your script? Is your life about depleting you or nourishing you? Is your life about using guilt to make decisions, or is your life about using transparency, honesty to make decisions? People want you to give because it's to their benefit. But then, as a mature person, what is going to be your benefit? What's going to help you? What's going to grow you? So if you keep putting others into your sphere and then you make decisions out of what others want, you're still disconnected from your true self. Okay, Lindsay, welcome back. So Lindsay goes, what are some habits to begin the process of setting boundaries and putting self first? Thinking thinking make new habits and ways to implement them. So always, whenever you want to change, think about it, changing the script. Don't change the behavior. Many times when you change your script, that means your internal voice, and you change your internal expectations, your behavior changes. So it's important that you think about what scripts. We are better at setting boundaries when we respect ourselves. So to me, the key is to have self-respect, to have self-honor. When we do those well, then our boundaries become clearer. But when we are very compromised in self-respect and we always allow people to influence you, that trains you to deplete yourself. So think about how it is important that you nurture, nourish, affirm yourself, and not just keep diluting you, keep depleting you. Those are very unhealthy in the long run. All right, Garland, I've learned through this program that you cannot sustain putting everyone else before yourself. What an excellent point, Garland. Thank you for sharing that learning. Victoria goes, thank you. My mom often says she has no time for herself. I will continue to model changes in my life for her. Excellent practice, Victoria. Yes. Whenever you want to change, don't worry about making other people change. Your change will impact others. So it's like a trickling effect. You, when you change, that's the most powerful force that you can exhibit. But when you moan and groan and expect others to change and they don't, that puts you in a very victimish mindset. So always think about change related to you and not related to other people. Okay, Dora goes, I'm training myself to first check on my own needs before I say that I am unable to help. Yes, yes, that is a healthy practice. Honoring yourself, you know, being respectful of your needs, setting your priorities and consistently meeting them. So the goal here is to be consistent, not haphazard or self-sabotaging. So always do what works for you, what is in your best interest, what speaks to your truth. Because when you do that, people will see how solid your structure is, and then they will learn to honor you. Your no becomes more clear to them, and your less becomes fewer in between. So learn to say yes to yourself and not just think about pleasing other people, you know, giving to other people. You have to first give to yourself. You have to first appreciate yourself. All right, Leah goes, how can I set boundaries with my family when they believe that you have a say in when they believe that they have a say in my life? What a great question. Yes. So parents or siblings think that you are an extension of them. Remember, you are not an extension. When you left your mother's womb, you created your own self. You have your own energy. You have your own decisions. You have your own priorities. So while people may guilt you into caving in, you have to think about, like you said, I have a say in my life. Is your voice being muted? Is your voice clear? Is your voice harsh? Is your voice about standing for yourself clear to people? Or do you speak in a mousy way? When you speak in mousy, unclear terms, then people will go, okay, this is a person that's going to be easily pushed over. So then they do more of the taking advantage of. And when you let people take advantage of you, the word gets out. It spreads like wildfire. Then other people will take advantage of you because they go, okay, this person is a good, easy target. So always think about how you can protect yourself and do what is in your best interest. All right. Thank you for such awesome, awesome questions. I love the energy that you brought, and your questions were very on task and on target. Awesome. So, next week, the topic is saying no without explaining yourself. So, I would love to hear your questions. It's somewhat related, but it's different, saying no without explaining yourself. So, thank you for your attendance. And again, this program is sponsored by Laurel Ridge. Again, Laurel Ridge is a behavioral health program that offers compassionate care for every stage of life. So they have services for children, they have services for adolescents and adults, military dependents, active duty service members, and first responders. Call 210-491-3591 for no cost assessment. So thank you for joining us and have a great evening, a wonderful weekend. Thank you for these awesome, awesome questions.